Welcome to the channel's stories that bring us closer. Here, every story is filled with important lessons that help children and families learn to care for one another in wonderful ways. Today, you're going to discover a very special story called Sofia and the Magical First Aid Kit. It's a gentle adventure that teaches us about helping, caring, and most importantly, how to stay calm when things don't go as planned. It's a story about finding the magic in being prepared and kind. So, get comfortable and let's begin this heartwarming journey together. Once upon a time, in a bright and sunny town, there lived a curious and kind-hearted girl named Sofia. Sofia's favorite things in the world were playing in the park under the big green trees and learning something new every single day. Her mind was always buzzing with questions, like a little bee exploring a garden of flowers. She was especially curious about how she could help people. Whenever she saw someone with a little problem, a thoughtful expression would cross her face as she wondered, "What can I do to make things better?" She had a big heart and always wanted to be ready to lend a hand if something unexpected ever happened. One sunny morning at school, Sofia's teacher, Mrs. Clara, brought a mysterious bright red box into the classroom. It had a white cross on the front. She placed it gently on her desk, and all the children leaned forward, their eyes wide with curiosity. What could be inside? Mrs. Clara smiled and said, "This, my dear students, is a first aid kit." She explained that it wasn't a box of toys or magic tricks, but something even more important. It was a special box filled with tools to help people when small accidents happen, like a scraped knee or a little cut. Sophia listened intently, feeling that this red box held a very important secret. With great care, Mrs. Clara opened the first aid kit. Inside, everything was neatly organized. Sophia saw colorful bandages with fun patterns, a pair of shiny, blunt-nosed scissors, and thin, see-through gloves that looked like they were made for a superhero. There were also little packets of cleaning wipes and soft cotton balls. Mrs. Clara picked up each item and showed it to the class, explaining what it was for. But then she said something that Sophia would never forget. "The most important things in an emergency," Mrs. Clara said in a calm, gentle voice, "are not even inside this box. The most important things are to stay calm, take a deep breath, and always, always find a grown-up to help." Then the lesson became even more serious. Mrs. Clara explained that some situations are bigger than a small scrape. She told the children that if they ever see someone who is very hurt or in big trouble, they should never try to handle it all by themselves. In very serious situations, she said, looking at each child with a kind but firm expression, "The bravest and most helpful thing you can do is call for help from trained adults." She wrote a number on the board in big, bold letters, 112. "This is the emergency number," she explained. "When you call it, experts who know exactly what to do will come quickly and safely to help." The children all repeated the number, understanding how important it was to remember. The very next day, as if the world wanted to test what Sophia had learned, she was playing outside during recess. Her good friend Miguel was zooming around on his bright blue bicycle, pretending he was a race car driver. He was laughing and having a wonderful time until his front wheel hit a small stone. Wobble, wobble, and thump. Miguel tumbled off his bike and landed on the gravel path. He let out a small cry. His knee was scraped and bleeding a little. Some of the other children gasped and didn't know what to do, but Sophia, remembering Mrs. Clara's words, did not panic at all. She took a deep breath, just like she was taught. Sophia's mind was clear. She knew exactly what she needed to do. First, she knelt beside Miguel and said in a soothing voice, "It's okay, Miguel. We'll get help." She didn't try to touch his knee or move him. Instead, she stood up and quickly ran to find the teacher who was watching over the playground. "Mrs. Clara," she called out. Miguel fell and hurt his knee. While the teacher hurried over to Miguel, Sophia remembered the red box. She dashed back to the classroom, her heart beating with purpose, and carefully carried the first aid kit to the playground. She felt so responsible and proud to be helping. With Sophia by her side, Mrs. Clara took charge. She put on a pair of the thin gloves, just like she had shown them. Then, with a gentle hand, she used a special wipe from the kit to clean the dirt away from Miguel's scrape. Miguel winced a little, but Sophia held his hand and told him he was being very brave. After the scrape was clean, Mrs. Clara chose a colorful bandage with smiling stars on it and carefully placed it over the cut. She praised Sophia, saying, "You did the right thing, Sophia. You stayed calm and you got help." That was a wonderful thing to do. Sophia's cheeks glowed with pride. Miguel looked down at the star-covered bandage on his knee, and a small smile replaced his tears. He looked up at Sophia, his eyes shining with gratitude. "Thank you, Sophia," he said softly. "You were like a real hero." In that very moment, something clicked inside Sophia's mind. She finally understood. The first aid kit wasn't magical because it had spells or potions. Its magic came from something much more real. It was the magic of being prepared, of caring for someone who was hurt, and of making them feel safe and looked after. It was the magic of kindness, and that felt more powerful than any fairy tale spell. That day, all the children at the school learned a lesson that went far beyond the classroom. They saw firsthand that you don't need superpowers to be a hero. Helping others, especially when they are scared or hurt, is a true act of strength. They learned that staying calm in a tricky situation is like having a superpower of its own. And most of all, they understood that acting with care, responsibility, and love for your friends are some of the most powerful and important skills you can ever have. The little red first aid kit became a symbol for all of them. A symbol of community, of care, and of being there for one another. From that day forward, Sophia always carried the lessons she learned in her heart. Whenever she saw a little tumble or a scraped elbow, she would remember Mrs. Clara's voice. Stay calm, find an adult, and always help with kindness. The magic of first aid became a part of who she was, a caring, responsible, and helpful friend to everyone. And that is the story of Sophia and the magical first aid kit. We hope you enjoyed this gentle adventure. If this story warmed your heart, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss our next story. You can also turn on notifications to be the first to watch. The wonderful books from the Stories That Bring Us Closer collection are available through the link in our description. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.